Hello and welcome to this week's edition of The Travel Show with John Guinn on ukhealthradio.com. Yes, I'm on a health radio station and I don't sound that healthy. Still got man flu. Now I've hit 50, I'm finding it harder and harder to shake these things off. But you'll be pleased to know there's not much of me talking this week because I'm replaying an interview I did about Missouri. You can find out why you should go there. And one main reason, spoiler alert, there is a solar eclipse this year. There's still time to get there, although you may find the hotel options a bit restricted now. But never mind, you'll be finding out about Missouri. And before that, we'll be getting some travel tips, travel booking tips and researching tips from Travel Supermarket. Last week I had the chance to interview a company who were doing tips on how to get away this bank holiday weekend. I didn't take them up on the offer because I'd already broadcast last week's show, and of course if I did it on this week's show it wouldn't make much sense. But I bet their tips didn't cover what happened with British Airways and Gatwick Airport. If you're not too sure what happened, Gatwick had a luggage problem on Friday and loads of people had to fly off without their luggage because they couldn't get the luggage from check-in desks to the airplanes. And then British Airways had an IT issue which basically lasted most of the weekend. It wasn't exactly a quiet weekend because there was around about 17 million people expected to go away on holiday, so it couldn't have happened at a worse time. So BA had this little bit of bother. Passengers faced lengthy delays due to a global IT issue, and those affected by the incident are likely to be offered €600 in compensation and perhaps compensation for hotel stays and food, drink and telephone calls. The airline was forced to ground all flights in Heathrow and Gatwick from Saturday after the outage, and this disruption continued to cause flight irregularities over the weekend. And according to EU Regulation 261/2004, airlines are obliged to pay compensation to passengers who are delayed by more than 3 hours on arrival at their final destination, unless, of course, they can prove that the disruption was caused by extraordinary circumstances. Now, this only affects EU airlines and airlines that are flying out of EU countries. Delta experienced a similar incident last August, and but unlike British Airways, it's not a European carrier and therefore it was not bound by EU law, although those who are flying to America from EU airports could actually put a claim in. So British Airways are making announcements they will be paying compensation, but they're unlikely, in my personal opinion, to be volunteering to be paying out any of the money. So it leaves you with two options. You can go DIY or you can use a claims management company. It isn't a difficult process, so I do recommend the DIY option. When I made a claim for a Virgin flight I had a few years ago, it was a bit hit and miss whether I can get away with it or not win, because a court case had just ruled in passenger favours, whereas before, when the incident happened, it was under extraordinary circumstances, and I couldn't be bothered to keep doing all the chasing up. But as it happened, with all the paperwork I filled out and all the emails I sent saying what's happening, I might as well have done it myself, and I would have saved myself the 20% it cost me in my winnings. Well, it's not winnings, is it? It's an award, a compensation award. So, I recommend you do it yourself. You have to be proactive, and if you're not too sure what to do, well, there's plenty of websites out there, such as the Martin Lewis one, which will give you a step-by-step instructions on how to put a claim in. Or you could contact the European Consumer Centre on 01 268 886690 or www.ukecc.net. They're there to give advice to consumers who purchase products from EU companies. And they've been on the show a few times and they'll be able to give you some advice. It's free and they'll be able to point you in the right direction. If you were caught out in this, I would love to know how you were looked after, what you felt was going on. This is with the Gatwick incident on the Friday, or the British Airways one with the IT glitch. I would like to know how you were looked after. There's plenty of things that should have been sent your way and I'd like to know whether that actually happened or not. So if you do have anything to share, let me know. Post onto facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show.
If you're going abroad by plane, boat, or the family car. If you're going abroad for pleasure or business. There's one essential thing to do before you go. Check the expiry date on your European Health Insurance card. You can renew it up to 6 months before it expires. Visit nhs.uk/healthcare abroad or call 0845 606 2030. Bon voyage!
You're listening to The Travel Show with John Guinn on ukhealthradio.com.
Still to come on the show, Missouri, and they'll be hearing me with a proper voice because the interview was recorded last year. But before that, we're going to get some holiday travel tips, booking trips from Travel Supermarket. I had a chat with Emma Colehurst, who's from Travel Supermarket, and travel journalist Tracy Davies, and they're talking about how you can get the best deal. So let's get on to them and stop listening to me. So what should somebody look for when they're looking for a great holiday deal?
I would say really think carefully about the destination. So think of places that have a really low cost of living, and also places where people are wanting, where destinations want to entice you back. So Turkey and Greece haven't seen as many people in the last few years, but Travel Supermarket is seeing more and more people return there. And the prices remain incredibly good. Just to give you a good example, you can go to Mallorca on the 20th of June, 3-star self-catering for £268 per person. Yet on the exact same day, from Luton Airport, you can go to Rhodes for £147, so nearly half the cost. So think very carefully and don't just think Spain. There are some really good last-minute deals, and I think that's because the prices to Spain have gone up this year, and at the last minute you can get some deals. But think of those other destinations, and also think about going all inclusive. Just for a few more pounds, it can pay to know what your budget's going to be, and then you don't have to worry about budgeting for restaurants where you go. What do you think, Tracy?
Absolutely. And also, if time is not on your side, city breaks are also another great option. Places like Germany, Cologne is coming in at £115 for 2 people this summer, which is incredible value. Also, Milan and Brussels are also coming in at £200. So if time's not on your side, city breaks are always a great option.
And don't discount long-haul holidays. You might think they're out of reach for you, but actually we've been looking just even in the middle of August. So if you've got school-age children and you want to go away, you can go in the middle of August to Menorca or Ibiza. You're looking at, by that time, around £600 to £700 to £800 per person for a week. Switch that to Orlando. I'm not joking, but you can go on the same day to Orlando for £496 for 2 weeks. So that's over a third cheaper. And I'd really recommend, John, Bali as well. The prices this year have gone down by around 16% on average. So you can find some incredible deals to Orlando and to Bali. And on that same day, I found deals to Bali for literally just a few pounds extra compared with those prices to Menorca and Ibiza. And Phuket is also really good. Consider Phuket. June is great for Phuket. So you'll get some great last-minute deals there. And I'm not joking, 2 weeks, around £500, and the cost of living is really cheap when you get there.
Going back to what you said about all-inclusive, I used to be a travel agent. And for families, I always recommended going all-inclusive because then you know your child's always going to be hydrated and have drinks and stuff when they're not used to the sun. So it saves worrying about it. No.
With the weather that's been so amazing at the moment, it's easy even in the UK to get dehydrated. But no, I mean, my recommendation would be, though, just make sure you read lots of reviews, check what the hotel does include and not include. But some of them are amazing. As you say, you get ice creams. Depends how many ice creams you want your children to have, I guess. But in this day and age, especially with the exchange rate being so volatile, and if only we could look into our crystal ball with an exchange rates, but it just means that you can avoid all that, know how much you spent, and then not have to worry about budgeting for restaurants or ending up in a tourist trap that costs you a fortune. So you can always afford to eat out with the prices being so low. I mean, there are prices for all-inclusive for, I'm not joking, £180 all in for a week. So to Turkey and to Rhodes, so you do not have to spend a lot of money, and you can go on a holiday that's really good value at the moment.
So how can Travel Supermarket help people get a good holiday? Are you a travel agent, or are you a price comparison?
What we do is we compare prices across the whole market. So you can put in a destination, so hence recommending destinations to put in there and look at the prices all in one place. You can also compare airport parking, car hire, travel money, all of those holiday extras, which are things that are really important to remember. It's so easy to forget, and I've done it myself. I turned up on holiday to the arrivals hall and got car hire, and it's, well, you're a captive audience, aren't you? I've been completely and utterly stung. So getting it advanced, compare online, you'll get much better prices, and the peace of mind of having your holiday sorted as well. So it's a chance. We also compare hotels, we compare flights. So it's all in one place where you can just see and therefore find where the best deals are.
With both of you being involved in travel now, do you find that the way you book holidays is different than it was before you got into the industry?
Very much so, yes. We obviously with the web, we're searching out the best deals. So it's really, a lot of the time, it's all about money and where you can get the cheapest prices. So yeah, it has changed an awful lot.
And also just the information you've got, Tracy, on where to go. I mean, we Travel Supermarket have a blog, and it's just, we have lots of information on the cheapest places to go, where you should consider, the latest up-and-coming places, where the best prices are. And you can just research and read so much editorial online as well to help you, guide you. I don't know what we did without the internet.
Is the blog at the main website, or is it you do have a different address for the blog and for Travel Supermarket?
Best thing is just to put Travel Supermarket blog in into the URL, and you'll come up with it. That's the best way of finding us. And there's so much information on there, and also how not to get stung. Those tips to look out for. So avoiding that double exchange rate con, and when you're in restaurants and when they ask if you want to pay in your own currency from home, which you just have to say no, pay in the local currency, because otherwise you end up using their exchange rate, which is unlikely to be very good. We also give lots of advice on there about what to look out for and what to avoid, and how to plan that holiday in and get all of that holiday at the best price possible.